Welcome to yet another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast, where today we're going over UFC Vegas 107, Blanchfield versus Barber. First things first, make sure you smash that like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's a Stats and Stacks podcast. No events to go over last week. It is what it is, and I am pumped to have UFC back in our lives. Is it the greatest card? No. Is it the most dependable card? No. Is there action happening Saturday night? Absolutely. So let's not complain about the card and just be happy that there is a card. Road to UFC is going on. We have the Ultimate Fighter going on starting this week. You have International Fight Week right around the corner. So beggars can't be choosers. Let's just go ahead and make the best of the card we have going forward. That being said, we're going to start off with probably fight of the year here. We have Raoni dos Santos at minus 285 going up against Alice Ardeline at plus 230. Over under set at 2.5. It's women's MMA. Over 2.5 is minus 550. Under 2.5 at plus 325. There were a lot of canceled fights. Unfortunately, this one is still going on. Reason I say unfortunately is because I think Raoni dos Santos is a good fighter. And I've bet her both her UFC losses, and this girl just cannot win a split decision. She just gets robbed blind every single time she's out there. Amanda's 29 years old, so she's in her prime. She has good striking. She's a BJJ black belt. She has okay wrestling in her back pocket. The biggest problem I have with her, I mean, she has good cardio. She's the complete package. Only issue with her is that she's a 105 pounder. She has won titles at 105, and the lowest weight class they have in UFC is 115. So she's forced to fight up a weight class at all times, kind of like Luma Lukubume. At this point in time, she just can get out physicaled, and sometimes it just looks better to the judges, even though she's landing more, even though she's landing the better strikes. It's not landing with as much impact just because she's simply smaller out there. She has 88% takedown defense. She's a little hittable, but it is what it is. Her level of competition's okay. She's fought some pretty decent girls. UFC girls, not so much. I mean, Alan Carr is all right. Pooja, I don't rate too highly, but on the regional scene, she did fight Denise Gomes, and she fought Alexia Dayanara, who are both in the UFC and both doing big things in the UFC. So even Isabella DePaul isn't terrible. Like she's fought some pretty decent girls here. She's a good fighter. She's an overall really, really, really good fighter. She's just too tiny. That's all that can be said. She keeps losing these split decisions, and I think she got screwed in both instances. But it's literally just because she's too tiny. She looks much better when she's going forward, but it's hard to do that when you're tiny. On the other side, we have the complete opposite. We have Alice Ordeline. Ardeline is known for her TikTok fame. She stares at stuff and tries to make it like provocative and makes this goofy face and has millions of followers doing it. It's very peculiar. She is rough. She is tough. She is physical. She's just not that talented. She's 33 years old. She throws decent volume, but she's pretty hittable when she's on the feet. Her wrestling's okay, but it's nothing to write home about. Her jujitsu's all right, but she's been submitted multiple times. She's just yeah, she slows down in her fights. She will go for takedowns, but they're body locks only. She's not in there shooting singles or doubles or anything like that. She has two UFC losses, and her two losses are to some of the weakest girls in the weight class, to be honest with you. Mama B Shannon is not physically imposing. Melissa Super Mel is not physically imposing. Do I think she could have won both those fights? Yeah. They're showing or one split decision loss, one unanimous decision loss. Both those fights are really close and could have gone her way. So you have a girl that has lost both her UFC fights by split, and you have another girl that lost one by split, and the other one was a lot closer than what the judges were seeing. So someone's got to win. It's the immovable force meeting the unstoppable object, or whatever that is. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna have to for a third time side with Amanda, which is insane to me. I do think this is sketchy. First fight of the nights are always scary, and whenever it's first fight of the night and it's a women's fight, the underdog wins at an unprecedented clip. So please be weary of this. Do not parlay too much money into Amanda. But I think she's just got to get one. I can see the path for Ardeline, which is literally just grabbing the smaller girl and body locking her and dragging her down to the ground and holding her. Like she could do that. We're in the apex. They're less likely to stand you up when you're in the apex. So Ardeline has a path. It's a very sensible path. She's a sensible pick here if you want to place a bet on her. But I'm just going to trust the talent. So the pick is going to be Ryan Dos Santos. The bet is going to be Ryan Dos Santos, and I have some sort of sick addiction betting Ryan Santos. Next fight of the night. More people that I just can't get right. We have Markel Maderos at plus 160 going up against Balaji Oki at minus 190. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 210. Under 2.5 at plus 155. Let's start with Markel. I don't think Markel's that good. I don't rate him too highly. He has good striking. His volume's all right. His cardio's all right. You think it would be better training in Colorado and altitude, but it is what it is. His jiu-jitsu is all right. Not really great at it. He fights everyone close. Every single one of his fights are extremely close because he's a point fighter. Um, he just fought 2 months ago, so that's pretty interesting that he's really eager to get back in here. I mean, he's 28, so I guess he's in his prime and he just wants to make the best of it. He backs up a ton and throws a whole bunch of jabs and stuff out there. He just expect him to fight going backwards. He prefers to fight going backwards. He does not like to get hit whatsoever. And he is just a point fighter. He backs up and point fights and point fights and point fights, and every single fight is very, very close. I thought he lost his last fight against Austin Hubbard. I'm a little biased because I had money on Austin, so it is what it is. But it was a split decision win for him. I thought the Landon Quiones fight was close. The is the fight not so much, but he's in a ton of super super close fights here, and it's because of his style. He's just a point fighter that backs up and point fights you. On the other side, we have Balaji Oki. Oki's 29 years old. He'll have a 4-inch reach advantage in this matchup. He is predominantly a striker as well, and he's okay at it. He throws a ton of power. He hits pretty decently hard. His wrestling, he's been mixing in here and there. He has a really, really good jab on him, so the 4-inch reach advantage is going to be pretty useful, especially going against a point fighter like Maderos. And again, his wrestling's not great, but he'll sprinkle it in there just to kind of throw you off and get it sometimes. His volume is pretty decent. His cardio's okay. His jiu-jitsu is pretty non-existent. We just saw him get choked out by Chris Duncan. That's not the greatest look. Um, but all in all, he's not someone I rate highly, so I don't like him as a big favorite. I don't really rate Markel highly, so I don't really want to place the money on him as a dog. So we're kind of stuck here. If anything, I am staring at that over 2.5 at minus 210. I think that's a pretty decent price. Just considering this, everyone fights each other as close. And again, Medeiros loves to point fight, and Oki's best weapon is his jab. So this thing more often than not probably goes the distance, and at minus 210, that is parlay material. So the pick is going to be Balaji Oki. The bet is either sprinkling the dog and Medeiros, or you can just take the over 2.5 and parlay it up. I think this thing goes the distance. Next fight of the night, we have more people that are very unreliable. We have Andreas Gustafsson at minus 165 going up against Trevin Giles at plus 140. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 plus 125. Under 2.5 minus 155. Let's start with Andreas, because Andreas is kind of trash, to be honest with you. He's 34 years old, so he's not a young debuting fighter. That's pretty old to be coming in and making your first UFC fight. His striking's okay, but he's a finisher. He hits extremely hard. He has a ton of power. I think he's finished almost every single one of his wins. His wrestling's pretty decent. He has a good wrestling background, and he'll mix it in here and there if need be. His jiu-jitsu looks god awful, but his cardio looks okay. His pressure is good. He's very hittable. Like you can knock this guy out. I've seen this guy wobbled on multiple occasions. He just kind of walks in there, and it's he doesn't believe in striking defense. He's like, I hit harder than you. So we're gonna see who goes down. And more often than not, you go down because he hits extremely hard. He can take a shot, but not without being compromised at all. So he does have to watch that. And again, he does slow down in his fights, but he can go 15 minutes. I've seen him do it on more than one occasion. I just think he's a little hittable. He's a little too reliant on his pressure and power, and I think he's there to get got if you give him the right guy. Problem is he's getting Trevin Giles. I think Trevin Giles is a really good fighter. The only thing that Trevin Giles doesn't have or he lacks is a chin and power. And that's like the two things you need fighting Gustafson. Giles is 32 years old. He looks much better at 170. He has a great level of competition, having wins over Ryan Spann, who's a heavyweight now, having wins over James Krause. He has wins over God, Roman Dolidze is a really good win when you go back and look at it. Like this dude has some wins. I think he beat Brendan Allen at some point. Like he has a lot of good wins. And his losses, I mean, Mike Malot's good. DDP is the current champion. Michael Morales is like one fight away from fighting for the title. Carlos Prates was one fight away from fighting for the title. Gabriel Bonfim's also a ranked guy. Like he's not going out there and just losing. Gerald Mearshart, he's not going out there and just getting killed. He's going out there and he's fighting top 10 guys and losing. And when you give him someone that's not a top 10 guy, he goes out there and he wins. The thing is, he doesn't have the greatest cardio and he's chinny. Gustafson, all he does is pressure forward and hit extremely hard. And I don't know if Giles on short notice has the cardio or the chin to hold up for 15 minutes of Gustafson. All in all, I think Giles is the better fighter. He's probably just as good of a wrestler. He's probably the cleaner striker. He his jujitsu is much better than Gustafson's. Like overall he's a generalist and he's a really good fighter. He's just pillow fisted without a chin. So if Gustafson is going out there in his UFC debut just looking to kill a man, Giles is the right guy because Giles can't hurt him back and Giles can't take his power. So the pick is going to be Gustafson. The bet is going to be Gustafson. And just know that we will be fading that guy sooner rather than later. I'll take him now because of the matchup, but it might be as early as this next fight we are on Fade City. So I hope he gets the knockout and looks extremely good, so that the line is higher for us to fade next time out. Speaking of faded, Jordan Levitt is a minus 180 favorite. Good God, you're thinking who the hell is he fighting that he's a minus 180 favorite? The answer is Kurt Holobaugh. Kurt Holobaugh can be had for plus 150. Over 2.5 is minus 170. Under 2.5 at plus 130. Let's just start with the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt. He has really, really good jiu-jitsu. That's it. That's all we got here. He is 18. He hasn't fought in 18 months. His wrestling's okay, but it's not great. His jujitsu is world class, but his striking is non-existent. The dude doesn't even know how to throw a punch. His cardio's trash. If he has to wrestle the entire time, he will gas out. Yeah, man. He backs up and does not like to get touched whatsoever. He freaks out if he gets hit. Um, and when he does go in and he shoots double legs, he leaves his neck out there for you to take home. Like he does it repeatedly, and he keeps getting away with it. But one of these days, someone's going to take that neck home. I know Chase Hooper took his neck home, but that was via rear naked choke. If you have someone with a strong guillotine, they're going to lock that thing in, and he's going night night. And the crazy thing is, Kurt Holloway's guillotine's not bad. So this is actually a pretty bad style matchup for the Monkey King. The only problem that I have, because I want to bet Kurt Holobaugh, I will bet Kurt Holobaugh. The only reason where I'm not extremely confident is because Kurt has a staggering 39% takedown defense. Part of that is because he jumps the gilly, Dustin Poirier style. His jiu-jitsu is good. He is a BJJ black belt. His striking's decent. He's a much better striker than Levitt. Yeah, not even close on the feet. But again, his wrestling's trash. He can't offensively wrestle, and defensively wrestling is a liability. A 39% takedown defense. That's bad. He has good cardio. He does play guard a little from time to time. I don't like that, but he refuses to fuck off. Like he is one of these guys that you hate betting against because you're scared that he's going to ultimately catch your guy because he just doesn't stop moving forward. He's pretty durable, and he wants to just pressure forward and knock you out and break you. And then if you just succumb to the pressure, then he's going to try to strangle you. Levitt, perfect for him. The only problem is Levitt's good on the ground. So with 39% takedown defense, I'm scared Holloway plays guard a little too much and lets the time just tick away. But at the same breath, I don't really see Levitt doing any damage when they're on the ground. So this is a total dog or pass situation. The pick is going to be Kurt Holloway. The bet is going to be Kurt Holloway. I see a path for Jordan Levitt. You can definitely just take him down and lay and pray. But I'm just going to go ahead and take Kurt Holloway. Give me the more well-rounded guy. Next fight of the night, we have Alan Nascimento at minus 155 going up against Rafael Fiallo at plus 130. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 plus, over 2.5 is minus 185. Under 2.5 at plus 140. Let's start with Alan Nascimento. Haven't seen him in a minute. He is 33 years old now. World class jiu-jitsu. This dude is phenomenal on the ground. He's over at Shoot the Box and trains with Charles Oliveira, and it's, in my opinion, just as good on the ground as Charles Oliveira. Striking wise, he is not Charles Oliveira, but he's decent. He's okay on the feet. He's a scramble king, though. If he gets a hold of you or you get a hold of him, be prepared to scramble. Like him and Tim Elliott would be an awesome fight, just watching them roll around and who knows where they are. Like Kurt Holloway, his takedown defense is ass. It's actually worse. It is a staggering 16% takedown defense. That's one of the lowest I've ever seen. But like him, like Joel Alvarez, these people with like sub 15% takedown defense, it's because it's by design. They want to be put down to the ground. If you get them down to the ground, they will create a scramble and they will ultimately just out jiu-jitsu you because that's how good they are on the ground. The problem I have with him is we haven't seen him in 2.5 years. So he could come back and look great. He could come back and look rusty as hell. Not a fan of that. I don't like that at all. Um, he has a really active guard. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on this fight because he pulls out all the fucking time. Who knows if this fight even transpires? Because this dude is a pullout king. On the other side, we have Rafael Fiallo. He's that Brazilian pastor from Contender Series. He's pretty good. If you want to think about something that he's done notable in the UFC, it was snap Muhammad Mokaev's leg in half. If you remember that knee bar and Mokaev refused to tap, it was him. It was this guy that slapped that knee bar on him. So we know he has some talent there on the ground. He is a BJJ black belt, and that is his bread and butter. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. His striking's okay, but he's very, very low volume. His wrestling's okay, but does he really want to take down Aline Nascimento? His cardio's pretty good, but he has a 55% takedown defense himself in regards to his wrestling. So on the feet, on the feet, it's pretty close, but Nascimento throws more. On the ground, they're both BJJ black belts, but Nascimento's is better. So I don't really know where Fiala plans to win this fight. He definitely can. Again, we have not seen Nascimento in over 2.5 years. He's 33 now. He definitely could have slowed down in that time 110%. But I'm just going to take it as if he's coming back 100%. I mean, he should be. It's been 2.5 years. He better come back ready to go. So at that point, it's kind of pick your poison with him, and I think that this is a good style matchup for Nascimento. So the pick is going to be Nascimento. The bet is going to be Nascimento. Next fight of the night is one I'm excited for. I'm so happy that they're giving my guy Dusko Todorovic another shot here in the UFC. He's a plus 230 dog against Zachary Reese. Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. Reese is minus 285. Over under set at 1.5. It is a Zach Reese fight. Over 1.5 is plus money, plus 140. Under 1.5 at minus 185. Let's start with Todorovic. I think he's pretty slept on. You go back and you look at his UFC career, and he's on what, a 5-fight losing streak or a 4-fight? One, two, only 2. I forgot he beat Jordan right in the middle. Yeah, man. you look at his record, and he is 2-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's 3-8 in the UFC. That is not a shiny record, and his wins are against Daquan Townsend, Mackie Pitolo, and Jordan Wright. Awful, trash. Like this dude's fighting the worst of the worst. But then you flip it and you look at who he lost to. His or his five losses in the UFC. Mansour Abdul Malik is an absolute killer. Chidi Njokuani, good. Christian Leroy Duncan, good. Gregory Robocop Rodriguez, good. Hunahali Soriano, good. So like he's losing to top 10, top 15 guys, and he's beating guys that can't get UFC wins. Where is the middle ground? We're not too sure. In regards to his actual skills, he's still only 31 years old. He has good striking. He has a BJJ black belt. His wrestling's not great, but we've seen him use it from time to time. His cardio's okay. He can go a full 15 minutes. His level of competition's pretty decent. You're thinking he throws good volume. He throws a lot of high volume when he's on the feet. So you're thinking, what is wrong with him? Why is he losing all these fights? His chin. His chin's trash. And to make it worse, he has a karate style where he keeps his hands extremely low. So he's basically saying, please hit me, and I can't take it. Now, don't get me wrong. When you do that to Gregory Rodriguez and he hits you, you're going out. When you do that Mansour, you're going out. When you tempt freaking Puna to hit you, you're going out. So it's like, where is the true Dusko experience? I'm not too sure. I just think that he's extremely underrated. He's an underdog in every single one of his fights. And he's going to come through because he's not a bad fighter at all. He just has absolutely no chin. And he's fighting really good competition. On the other side, they're finally giving him someone that's more his speed again. They're not giving him someone crappy like Townsend, but they're not giving him a killer. They're giving him a winnable fight in Zach Reese. The only problem is Zach Reese hits extremely hard. Zach Reese is 31 years old. He's going to have a 3-inch reach advantage. His striking's not good, but he just hits really, really hard. His jiu-jitsu, overrated. Like he has a ton of submission wins and he fancies himself a BJJ guy, but it's not very good. He's doing a whole bunch of bush league stuff and arm barring from guard and stuff that just doesn't work at the UFC level. 33% takedown defense. It's not good. He thinks he can go down to the ground. His takedown defense and his wrestling in general is not good. His cardio, trash. We saw him, all of his fights have finished in round one, except for one. Jose Medina did take him to three. He took him to round three. And Zach Reese looked gassed. He had nothing left in the tank. So we know, and we also know he has no chin whatsoever. He got knocked out by Cody Brundage. He got dropped by Jose Medina. Like none of these are good looks. He got knocked out in his last fight against Bakoev. He can't take a punch. He can't stuff a takedown. He's god awful. Yeah, he's a minus 285 favorite. His chin is just as bad as Dusko's. It's just as bad. I think it's a matter of who hits who first. Only difference is Dusko is a plus 230 sitting next to his head. So if those are the odds on a 50-50 fight, give them to me. The pick is going to be Dusko Todorovic. The bet's going to be Dusko Todorovic. At least he can wrestle a little too. He has more than one route to victory, and I think it's his. Next fight of the night, we're going for more dogs. We have Ketlin Vieira as a minus 102 underdog going up against Macy Chazon at minus 118. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 375. Under 2.5 plus 250. It's been damn near a pick 'em the entire week, so you see any plus money, take it. And that'd be on the Ketlin side. Ketlin is 33 years old. She's fought a really good level of competition. She has okay striking. She has okay jujitsu, or she has actually pretty good jujitsu. She has decent wrestling. I wish she threw a little more volume. She's pretty low volume on the feet. She's also a little hittable just because of how low volume she is. But at the end of the day, her cardio's okay. It checks out. She's just a slow, plodding, like Brazilian fighter with decent ground game. and is serviceable on the feet. She's just very slow and plodding and hittable. That's the only problem with her. So she's all right. She's not a great fighter. I'm not always getting behind Ketlin Vieira, but she looked good in the loss to Kayla Harrison. She looked good in the win against Penny Cans, and she looked okay. She looked pretty good against Rocky Pennington, who is the former champion. She looked all right against Holly Holm, Misha Tate. Like these are former champions. So at the end of the day, she's fought wrestlers a few times. Sarge Eubanks is a wrestler. She was able to just stuff takedowns and win. Misha Tate's a wrestler, was able to stuff takedowns and win. Holly Holm thought she was a wrestler. She was able to stuff takedowns and win. So she's fought this type of fighter over and over and over again. Because Macy Chiasson fancies herself a wrestler right now. She came in as a Muay Thai striker, and she predominantly wanted to strike when she was in the Ultimate Fighter House. She got some takedowns and got a win doing it that way without getting punched in the face, and realized, you know what? This hurts less. I like this. I am a grappler now. And she's looked good. I mean, she got a submission win in her last fight against Panny Kianzad, choked her out in the first round. Sorry, sorry, that was the second last win. Before that, after that was Myra Bueno Silva, which was a really close fight, honestly. But she had a cut stoppage and just took the win that way. We saw her get upper kick. That Irene Aldana was really, really weird. That was an up kick to the liver and just took her out from the ground. Like that was very, very weird. But Rocky Pennington did gas her out and choke her out. Norma Dumont, she took down Norma like 6 times. And Norma has decent takedown defense, so that was impressive. She's a pretty decent wrestler now, all of a sudden. But she gassed out. If she has to wrestle a ton, she does gas out. So a 4-inch reach advantage here. Her level competition's all right. And she's just kind of a generalist as well. 70% takedown defense on her end. But I think she's going to go out there and continually try to grapple. And Catlin has decent takedown defense, 88% takedown defense to be exact. That's enough to stay on the feet. So if Macy can't get this down to the ground and she gasses herself out trying to do so, that's concerning. I think this is a pretty 50-50 fight. It's aligned that way. If Ketlin threw more, I'd like her a lot more. But because they're go ahead and the line is going in the way of Macy and we're getting more money on Ketlin, that's the way I'm going to bet. So the pick is going to be Ketlin. The bet's going to be Ketlin. And I'm hoping it just looks just like that Misha Tate fight where she just stuffs takedowns and just does just enough on the feet to get the decision win. Next fight of the night is one I've gone back and forth with. We have Dustin Jacoby at minus 180 going up against Bruno Lopez at plus 150. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 105. Under 2.5 minus 125. Let's start with Dustin Jacoby. Dustin Jacoby is 37 years old. He'll have a 2-inch reach advantage here. He has really good striking. He is another one of these glory kickboxers over with Adesanya and Pereira and such, Giga Chikadze, these glory kickboxers that came over to MMA. He was actually in MMA, went to glory kickboxing, and then came back to MMA, so that's interesting. His jiu-jitsu's not good. His wrestling's not great. 62% takedown defense isn't the most solid number. He does have good cardio. He has fought a good level of competition, a really good schedule. It's just, and he does have a ton of volume. He's just getting pretty chinny with age. So if you're going to have 62% takedown defense and be chinny, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible. That is the worst combo. Is he just completely going out every single fight? No, but he did get hurt in the Petrino fight in his last fight. He did get knocked out by Dominic Reyes. He did get dropped 3 times by Alonzo Menafield. None of that just looks good. He's getting dropped all the freak. He got dropped in the Asmat Mirzakhanov fight. All of those were winnable fights for him. The Khalil Roundtree was just a straight robbery, and Khalil's a really good fighter, but that was just a robbery. Dustin Jacoby, 5 years ago, kills Bruno Lopez. But the new 60% takedown defense chinny Dustin Jacoby does scare me. I have my reservations. I wanted to lock him, but I just can't. He's 37 years old with a bad chin. Like, that's just not a good combination. On the other side, we have Bruno Lopez. He's someone that I don't really believe in all that highly. Bruno Lopez is really, really good on the ground. He is a BJJ black belt. His striking's okay, but goddamn, you can counter this guy. He is there to get hit. When he throws, he just stops and keeps his hands low and stares at you, and he gets countered all the fucking time. He doesn't throw a ton of volume. He's pretty goddamn hittable because of how much you can counter him. His wrestling's okay, but it's not great. It's kind of like that jujitsu wrestling. Um, he loves to pressure forward, but Jacoby likes to go backwards, and he doesn't check kicks. He does not believe in checking kicks, and that's bad because Jacoby, one of his best weapons is his leg kick, so that could be a thing. Lopez isn't scared to be boring, though. He will just hold you up against the cage and clinch and not care, especially without a crowd there. He did that with a crowd, so without a crowd, oh my God, he'll just hold you there all fucking day. He doesn't care. Um, but Dustin should be getting the damage off. Do I like Dustin going against someone that's a better grappler and hits decently hard? No. This is a terrible matchup for Dustin. However, Bruno doesn't throw a lot, and Bruno is there to just get clinched, and everything that Dustin does well, such as countering and leg kicking, is Bruno's kryptonite. They're each other's kryptonite. So I'll take the more established guy in Dustin. The pick's going to be Dustin Jacoby. The bet, I'll have no choice but to go Dustin Jacoby, but I don't feel great about it. That one makes me a little hesitant. So does the next one, to be honest with you. We have Mateusz Gamrot at minus 175 going up against Ludovic Klein at plus 145. Over under set at 2.5. Over 2.5 minus 325. Under 2.5 at plus 225. Let's go ahead and start with. Oh, we skipped the fight. Well, we'll come back to it. Let's go ahead and just start with Gamrot. Gamrot is 34 years old, so he's nearing the end of his prime. Well, he's basically at the end of his prime, to be honest with you. He has world class wrestling. He's a really, really, really good wrestler. He has pretty decent jujitsu. His striking's okay. But he is pretty hittable and he is pretty chinny. He gets dropped a lot. He got dropped in the Dan Hooker fight. He got dropped in the RDA fight. He got dropped in the Jalen Turner fight. He got dropped in the Beneil Dariush fight. He gets dropped every single one of his fights. He's never gone out. But that big ass head, he's going to go out one of these days. And he's 34 years old. So it does scare me that the end is near in regards to his durability. But he's fought a really good level of competition. He's slowing down a little cardio wise in his older age too. He used to be known as a crazy wrestler that never got tired. He'd wear on you and he'd dominate you. Now in round three, he's starting to slow down considerably. Yeah, father time is undefeated, and we're just kind of on the decline of Gamrot. He's another one of these guys that I wish came to the UFC a little earlier, but it is what it is. We have what we have, whatever version of Gamrot we have. Is it good enough to beat Ludovic Klein? Yeah, probably. Ludovic Klein's 30 years old. He's going to have a 2.5 inch reach advantage in this matchup, and he's looked much better since moving to lightweight. He's someone that was fighting at featherweight for a while. He kept missing weight and eventually decided on going up to 155 and has looked phenomenal. He has good striking. He has pretty decent power on him. 91% takedown defense is the number, though. On the feet, this fight isn't even close. He kills Gamrot on the feet. But he hasn't really fought any wrestlers. I mean, he fought Jai Herbert, can't wrestle. He fought Roosevelt Roberts, can't wrestle. Tiago Moises isn't really that great of a wrestler. AJ Cunningham can't wrestle. Ignacio Bahamondes can't wrestle. Mason Jones, he's an okay wrestler, but that was also Mason Jones 3 years ago. Not the world's greatest wrestler. Devontae can wrestle, but chose not to. Shane Young can't wrestle. Mike Trezano can't wrestle. Nate Landwehr can't wrestle. So, yeah, he has 91% takedown defense against people that literally don't know how to shoot a takedown. So, I don't know what the true thing is here. We're definitely going to find out because Gamrot is shooting and he's going to shoot often and quickly. Klein's jiu-jitsu is not great. His volume's okay. His cardio has looked terrible. He death gassed against Trezano. That's why he lost. He death gassed against Nate Landwehr. That's why he lost. Um, but at the same time, I've seen other performances like the Mason Jones fight on short notice where he looked fine. AJ Cunningham, well, that didn't go far. The Roosevelt Roberts fight, his last fight out, his cardio looked fine. So it looks good and it looks bad. You don't really know. There's accusations of him being on some sauce, and that's fine. I want to bet the guys on steroids. I don't want to bet against them. I think he's an extremely live dog. I think he's going to end up being a public dog. It's just that 91% takedown defense on paper looks good, but he hasn't fought any wrestlers, and Gamrot is like the wrestler. Gamrot is top five. Sorry, Gamrot's top three in the weight class in regards to his wrestling. So I'm gonna pick Gamrot. He should get this done. But in regards to a bet, I can't trust either one. So at that point, if it's 50-50, it's kind of a dog or pass situation. And let's see if Klein can just prove it. Pick his Gamrot. Bet would be Klein. Next fight, we're gonna go ahead and jump back into this the fight we skipped because there was some movement. Seek Hong Ko was supposed to fight Billy Goff. Oban Elliott was supposed to fight Ramiz Brahimaj. Both Ko and Elliott were having visa issues, and their fights had to get moved off of the card. So now they're going to make Ramiz and Billy Goff fight each other, ironically enough, at the same weight class. So they're just going to switch that over. Right now, the odds, they just added this. We have Billy Ray Goff minus 340. Excuse me. Sorry, my allergies might whoop my ass this whole time. Ramiz Brahimaj plus 270. Over 1.5 minus 190, under 1.5 at plus 145. Let's start with Ramiz Brahimaj. Ramiz isn't good at all. Ramiz has really, really good jiu-jitsu, but his wrestling isn't great. His striking it looked much improved in his last fight, but he was also fighting an absolute can and Mickey Gall. So, uh, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. He's an okay. He has decent power on him. He hits pretty hard, but he's also extremely hittable. He is there to get hit. Even Mickey Gall was piecing up a little bit. In regards to his wrestling offensively, it's all right, but 44% takedown defense is not a good number. His volume is not good, and his cardio is not good. He loves to pressure forward. He'll let you punch him in the face so that he can try to land one, but he just doesn't throw enough. He just marches forward and gets punched in the face repeatedly. It's not very good. And I've never seen him knocked out, but I have seen him rocked a few times. So it's not as if he's impossible to put away. Eventually, someone's going to put him away. Is it this next fight against Billy Goff? I don't know. Billy Goff kind of does the same thing. He pressures forward. He's 26 years old. He he kind of Homer Simpsons everything. He goes out there, gets punched in the face a million times, and then as soon as you get tired, he takes over, and that's how he wins every single one of his fights. His jiu-jitsu's not great. His cardio's pretty good. His pressure, he throws a ton of volume, which is the complete opposite of Ramiz Brahimaj. His wrestling's okay. It's probably the same as Ramiz. His striking's okay, probably the same as Ramiz. No, his striking's a little better than Ramiz, probably. His power, it's about the same thing as Ramiz. He kind of reminds me of Forrest Griffin. Like he's like all just this hairy, goofy guy that's really slow that just pressure forwards and doesn't know any better than to get hit. He just doesn't fuck off. He just keeps going and going and going. I do love the body work he throws in from time to time, though. So I do think these guys fight kind of the same way. Ramiz is the much better jujitsu practitioner, but neither one can wrestle. And Goff is probably the slightly better striker, but he throws a ton more volume and hits to the body quite frequently, which I love. So his cardio is better. So the pick is going to be Goff. The bet, probably just the fight doesn't go the distance. They both pressure forward. It should be a car crash. The over under is a pretty interesting one. I'll probably just do fight doesn't go the distance here and not pick a side. They're the same damn thing. And that takes us to the main event. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button. Give a follow over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever there's social media. There's the Stats and Stacks podcast. We are looking at Aaron Blanchfield as a minus 245 favorite going up against Macy Barber at plus 200. Over 4.5 is minus 250. Under 4.5 plus 180. Let's start with Aaron Blanchfield. Blanchfield is still just 26 years old somehow. She has a 3-inch reach advantage. World class cardio, like insane cardio. Best part of her game is definitely her cardio. She has good wrestling. She has great jujitsu to go with her good wrestling, and her striking's getting better each and every fight. She used to just have a left head kick. Now her striking's gotten much better. She's an okay striker. Level of competition's really good. Volume really high. Loves to pressure forward. She's a little bit of a slow starter. She kind of loses round one frequently, so just be aware of that. Maybe it's a good live betting opportunity for her. And she's a little stiff and she's a little slow. I wish she was a little more fluid out there. She can get hit. She seems pretty durable, but she is there to get hit. But she's predominantly a grappler. She will get you down to the ground, and when she does, her ground game is world class. I mean, it's probably top, yeah, 120 at 125. It's probably top five at 125. Her BJJ is really, really, really good. And again, she's an okay striker and a pretty good wrestler to match it. And the cardio is ungodly. If she has to shoot 50 takedowns like Marab, she will. On the other side, we have Macy Barber. Macy's 27 years old. She last fought 18 months ago, so this is another person coming off a long hiatus. She has good striking. She hits pretty decently hard for a 125-pound girl. Like she's got some power to her. She has pretty good cardio herself. Um, she has some good losses. I mean, she lost to the former champion and Alexa Grasso, and then she lost to Roxanne Manaferi because she tore her ACL. There's not really much she could do there. I can't believe she's only 27 years old. She's been in the UFC forever. Um, all in all, she kind of likes to sprawl and brawl. She has been mixing in takedowns recently, but she'd be a fool to do that against Aaron. Her wrestling is getting better. She trains at Team Alpha Male now, so they're helping with her wrestling, but still career 53% takedown defense isn't the best number. What I will say is that she's really strong, she's real physically imposing. She's very hard to get down with a body lock. Aaron Blanchfield's best takedown is a body lock. So that's concerning. We saw her in the Manon Fiorot fight where she just continually tried to body lock a much more physically imposing figure, and it didn't work. She ultimately lost the fight because she just refused to fuck off and kept trying to grab a body lock and get her down to the ground, and it did not work. I am petrified she does the same thing against Macy Barber. 53% takedown defense, not great. Takedown defense against body locks, phenomenal. She gets real low to the ground, and she is so physically strong, it is hard to muscle her down. So, I don't know. She backs up quite a bit at times, though, and Blanchfield does love to go forward, so that'd be an interesting dynamic here. She throws pretty good volume, and when she does get taken down, she has a pretty urgent get-up game. So you have someone that prefers to strike, that's hard to take down with what Aaron likes to do with a good get-up game. On the other side, you have an okay striker, but a good wrestler and a really, really good top game and great cardio. We've never seen Macy go 5 rounds before, so she's gonna have to prove it to me. She could send Aaron's head into oblivion. She really could, and Aaron could also rip her arm off. So I don't hate the violence look, but I'm just gonna play it safe. I'll go ahead and I'll pick Blanchfield. I'll bet Blanchfield, and because I'm not 100% confident, I'll probably put her in basically every single parlay and then just hedge with Barber. I think Barber at plus 200 is a good hedge. So the pick is Blanchfield, the bet is Blanchfield, but I will be hedging with Macy Barber. And that's UFC Vegas 107. It's a decent card. We'll see how many of these fights go through. A lot of them have already been canceled. Other ones have late replacements and just a lot of wildness going on. But at the end of the day, even if it's just 3 fights, give me a fight. I'm going fucking insane without fights last week. I cannot wait for them to be back, and I cannot wait to win more money. Let's get it.